Welcome. Today we're doing my 11th sealed event for Dominaria United. We had a good result yesterday in the best of three, so I managed to go 4 wins and 1 loss. So you only need 4 wins to get a kind of a champion deck in best of three, because you're playing obviously that many more games. And I think I lost the first match as well. I thought I was going, and I nearly lost the second match. I thought I was going 0-2, so that was a nice surprise, a bit of a comeback. It was a green-white deck, and we splashed blue for Shanna, the Purifying Blade, and I think later on in the tournament I got some huge card advantage from Shanna as well. She's because she is you have to answer that card, or things are going to go very badly for you, very quickly. So I think we'll, without further ado, so we're doing we're alternating. We're doing the best of one today. See how we get on. Looks like I've got enough gems for at least a couple more sealeds, and then I'll because then I'll still have enough gems to get my mastery pass. I've kind of got that in the back of my mind, but I could keep sort of going, of course. Now, there are a few cards here I've seen before, actually. I did get Timeless Lotus recently. I didn't use it in the deck. I didn't have a big sort of mana sink that I needed this for, so I did leave it out because it's quite expensive mana fixing. I suppose it's, if you think about it, there's that card Meteorite, which costs 5, which does 2 damage to any target, and it adds 1 of any colour of mana. And I do use that card because anything that can kill a 2/2 flyer or invasion creature is quite useful, and some decks just need that extra bit of fixing. So yeah, it's within the realm of possibility, I'd say, playing this. I think we'll look at this red-white card. That's the Astral Bearer of Blades. So he helps you equip equipment and crew vehicles. So all equipment and vehicles get crew 1, equip 1. So you kind of want the colossal hammer with this guy, if or something like that, if it exists in the set. But I, to be honest, have not seen very many vehicles. Have not seen much equipment. I think there is that axe that gives, I think, +2, +0. I think it's either 1 to play and 2 to equip. I think it's 1 to play and 2 to equip. When it's enter the battlefield, you look at the top 7 and you get an equipment or vehicle from among them. So, pretty much this guy is just a 4/4 for 4 mana, because you're just extremely unlikely to have a vehicle or an equipment in this set. It would seem. So, probably don't use this guy. We'll go into red here. So I actually had both of these cards in a previous sealed, and I played them. I did play red. But I never actually saw Chaotic Transformation, which is the entire event. So that's a shame. So we've got another chance if we can play red this time. This one's very splashable though. 1 red and 5. It does something weird. So yeah, exile up to 1 target artifact, creature, enchantment, and planeswalker, and land. So it's potentially 5 targets, one of each type. You can target your opponent's stuff, you can target your own stuff. So for each exiled permanent, its controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a card that shares a card type with it. Puts that card onto the battlefield, then shuffles. So I guess the idea is, if your opponent has Liliana, they've got a planeswalker, this should just be removal. That it's kind of unlikely to have 2 planeswalkers in a sealed deck. You might be really unlucky. They might have a Karn or something as well. And even things like enchantments or artifacts, they might only have one in the deck. It's kind of I think it's quite possible. And then I guess you take out their biggest creature. Maybe that's right. You can only target one creature. You take out either take out their biggest creature, or maybe one of your token creatures, so that you can get out something more significant. And also you can take out one land, and then they get a random land. So that's probably more for fixing your own land. Got an extra forest, get rid of that forest, and just get a random land from your deck to like maybe give you more colors, maybe give you more domain value. So very interesting card. Kind of want to play it because I didn't get to see it in action last time. We've got the Temporal Firestorm, and this is very powerful. So 5 damage to all creatures and planeswalkers, and if with the kickers let you phase out creatures, so you could. I did have the Temporal Firestorm Dream recently. I paid 9 mana. I phased out 2 of my creatures, and I wiped the board, and I won that game quite soon afterwards. So, very, very good card indeed. And also it helps if you can have some 6 toughness creatures, of course, so you don't even have to phase them out. So green is probably. We'll have a look at green and see if we can find some nice big creatures. There's the 4/6 guy who gets his cost reduced by domain. The Yavimaya Sojourner could be quite good if we have one of those. And we've got Guardian of New Benalia. So my only experience was having to play against this guy, and they got out a Samite Healer or whatever it's called. So you could enlist with that, gain life and scry, and then you can scry even more because this scries 2 when something enlists, and then it's practically unkillable. Discard a card to make it indestructible. So it's a huge this is pretty huge. Probably want to play white. This is maybe the best 2-drop in the set. There is that green 2-drop which is really good that grows and grows as you play creatures. Then we've got the World Spell, and someone did play this against me. So you look at top 7 cards. You may reveal a non-saga permanent. So that's quite a lot of your permanents, really. This might be the only saga you play in the deck. You put that permanent into your hand. The rest goes on the bottom, and that's the first 2 steps. So you're already gaining 2 cards, and it's card selection. It's a pretty deep card selection from like best card from the top 7 each time. And then number 3, put up to 2 non-saga permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield, so you get to play them for free at step 3. So that's pretty powerful, but it's obviously 7 mana to cast. And it takes a while before you can put them out. You've got to wait a couple of turns, but yeah. It seems like a kind of a nice top end card advantage, mana advantage card. I mean, once you've got 7 mana, do you need mana advantage? But yeah, it could be helpful. You might have if you've got other ways of refilling your hand. You might still have a bunch of stuff in your hand once you've hit 7 mana. It's possible. It does help refill your hand as well. So maybe red and white so far look quite good from the rares here. Right, we'll just go through the rest of the cards. I go and look at artifacts first. So you might notice that is an equipment card. Yeah, it costs 1, and then it's 2 to equip. So I've never actually played this before. we'd get a discount of 1 mana off its equip cost with that red-white guy. So yeah, let's include that. So we don't forget about it. That's our equipment card. Let's actually. I'm going to search for vehicles. I don't know. Oh yeah, there is one vehicle. I think it is a mythic rare. It's the Weatherlight completed. Obviously, we don't have that. Yeah, no vehicles. So that might be the only vehicle in the set, the Weatherlight. So what we're looking for here is mana fixing. We're looking for evasion creatures. We're looking for removal cards. And we're looking for sources of card advantage, card selection, scrying, and things like that to smooth out our draws. So, Crystal Grotto is good, in my opinion. Librarian is good. Scries for 2. Manaworker is good. It fixes our mana. Walking Bulwark. Oh, this is kind of quite an interesting card where you can turn your defenders into attackers. And what I always do is, because there's a minor defender theme in the set, we'll just see how we're doing for defenders. Smash to Dust, of course, destroys a defender. We've got probably the 2 best ones, in my opinion. So Wingmantle Chaplain makes 1/1 birds. Academy Wall is draw and discard when he casts spells. So this might be actually a nice little packet of defenders. We can cut all of these later, but yeah, it's not a lot of defenders, but sometimes getting a 1/1 flyer is all you need. Look at the rest of the white cards now. Yeah, Artillery Blast is good. It's removal. Sleeper is good as well. So this, I mean, it's perfect for those situations where they've just, played out. They've got one big creature in play, basically, which does happen sometimes. That's good removal. So the Guardian, is a source of scrying, and it's very persistent as well. It makes it very good. Night of Dawn's Light. If I was playing white, I'd almost certainly play this in the deck. So it doesn't actually fit into any of the categories I mentioned, but it's just a very efficient 2-mana creature, so I think we definitely would play that. Missionary is really good. It's like Grave Digger, basically, but also it's a 2/3 lifelink for 2, which is pretty strong. We've got the Samite Herbalist. Yeah, not the healer, the Herbalist. So this is a great combination with Enlist. So we've got the Guardian of New Benalia. So that is a good one. The Vanguard is just okay, I would say. Just okay. I don't think we look at that one. Wonderful. We've got 2 Citizens' Arrests. So this is very strong removal. Just takes out anything. We even have Prayer of Binding as well. And that's the one with Flash. So 3 really strong removal cards that are sort of, unconditional removal. Just take out everything. Alongside Destroy Evil for the big creatures, and Artillery Blast if you're playing Domain. It's pretty good, but it's usually going to do probably 3 damage. So it's good for taking out that flyer that's bothering you. The Cavalier has flying. Gains you 2 life. 2/1. Good card. The Phalanx. People do play this. It's a solid creature. It's got a cost reduction. So this one, again, doesn't fit into any categories that I mentioned. we'll probably skip this for now and maybe come back to it. Because it looks like if you're playing white, you're probably playing quite a few creatures. Though it did have some... White had some good spells as well. Good enchantments. Right, we'll go over to blue. Right, combat research. This is card advantage. It's, you know, a little bit risky. If you know, you gotta be careful, and it can be risky to play this when they've got untapped mana, and they can sort of blow up your creature, your flying creature, instantly, and then they get a 2-for-1. That's always been the problem with auras. But if you get away with it, if they're tapped out or something, then this is you know, your creature gets through, and it's already paid for the combat research in a way. It's you get that card back, so that is very good. Pixie Illusionist is kind of the perfect cheap flyer to go with it as well, which is nice. This is also mana fixing. It can turn your lands into other basic lands, which can increase your domain score as well, which is a nice little side benefit. Timely Interference. Interesting. I've seen a couple of people play this, and feels bad when someone they basically get, you know, a 2-for-1 with Timely Interference, and it's because it's a, you know, it's a cantrip. You're thinking you're blocking their 3/3 with your 3/3, and they get to basically turn this into a kind of a free removal card. But I think it's highly conditional removal. So what you got to do is, when you see these kinds of cards, you got to think: would this take out a small evasion creature that I can't block? And the answer is usually no, isn't it? You have to, it's kind of these are dependent on a blocking scenario to like get their advantage. Still, it is a cantrip, and it's very, very cheap, which is something in its favour. So this is in fact, if you look over here, we have Micromancer, who finds instants and sorceries with mana value 1. So we would definitely play this with Micromancer in the deck, I would say. Yeah, talking of Micromancer, let's do a quick check. We'll see how strong our Micromancer could possibly be. Okay, that's not too bad. There's actually 2 Flowstone Infusions, so see, this is a good removal card. You can imagine this taking out a small flyer. This guy's might as well, but usually you're playing blue-red if you're going for the spells deck. So I think that means Micromancer's quite good. Yeah, let's go back to blue. So let's just include that for the sake of Micromancer. Right, Battlewing Mystic. I've never used the kicker on this before, but so ideally you've emptied your hand, and this lets you get 2 cards. It's and it's another cheap flyer, which sometimes just cheap flyers often just win you the game. Right, we've got the Tide Turner. Not too interesting. We skip this one. Tolarian Geyser is really good. Geyser. Micromancer definitely seems good in this with these cards we've got. I'm a big fan of the Tidepool Turtle. I actually had 4 in the last set of cards I had. I didn't play any, but I was tempted. Yeah, kind of late game, just big mana sink where you could just scry and find the next crucial card. I think it's good. Djinn of the Fountain. We've actually got 2 of these. This is a very good thing to get, and this has got spells potential as well. So whenever we cast instant or sorcery, We can pump it by 1. We can exile him and return him to the battlefield, so any instant becomes a protection spell, so even Timely Interference could save our Djinn of the Fountain, which is quite nice synergy. And also you can scry for 1 as well. Well, you choose one of those. So very good card indeed. And I did play against someone who had 2 of these. And the Tolarian Terror, of course, big creature on the ground with Ward 2, and can get cheap if you cast lots of spells, if you put them in the graveyard. So yeah, I think because of the cost reduction and that it's kind of going with the theme, that makes it quite good. Right, so we've got black here, Battle Rage Blessing. So one of my opponents yesterday was running 2 of these, and it's very obnoxious. It's not a cantrip though. It doesn't. So this is a protection card. It's another combat trick. It's not going to take out that small evasion creature. So I don't think I include this, but this is definitely very good in some circumstances. So for protecting your big creatures, such as maybe a Djinn of the Fountain. And Knight of Dust Shadow has Menace and stops opponents gaining life. This guy is such a pain when you're playing against him, and you've got a Shanna Purifying Blade. I completely misplayed. I attacked with my Shanna because I knew I had I could give her indestructibility with Take Up the Shield. He had about 5 creatures out, and I just completely blanked on Knight of Dust Shadow. So I had to protect my creature. I couldn't kill his creature because he pumped the knight to 4 toughness, or 5 toughness or something, and I didn't gain any life because of this guy's ability. So I couldn't draw any cards. So it was a disaster. So yeah, if you've got Shadow Purifying Blade, make sure you double check they don't have a Knight of Dust Shadow in play. So yeah, good card. Basically good card because it's got evasion, but yeah, a couple of other quite significant abilities as well. Spatter Goblin, I tend to skip this card. I think it's all right though. It is all right. It's definitely very playable. But my rule is we're kind of, so this would come under removal category. Removal has to do 2 damage to my mind, and this only does 1. It reduces toughness by 1, so we pass on that one. Toxic Abomination, I just don't like losing 2 life points, so we skip that one. The Tribute to Urborg is a removal spell, so that is good, definitely very good. And it's got a bonus that goes with the spells deck. Very interesting. Shadow Prophecy, good card, draw card. Based on domain. So the ceiling of this card, you're like choosing 2 cards from 5 at instant speed for only 3 mana and 2 life. So it's I think that's some good card selection, some good card draw. Right, Tainted Apparition. I've lost a couple of games to this recently. Yep, just a flying shade. So pretty terrifying if you can't answer this quickly. Good card. So Sengir Connoisseur, 3/3 flyer for 5. When 1 or more other creatures die, you get a +1/+1 counter. This only triggers once per turn, so yeah. So it's another decent flyer, and it can start to get out of control if it's not answered. We didn't get any sacrifice effects in black, which could be a way of pumping up your Sengir Connoisseur. Yeah, so let's just recap. That's 3 colours we've looked at and artifacts. So yeah, only 7 black cards sort of kind of make the initial cut. White's very strong on 13 cards, blue on 11. And if you're making obviously if you're making a 40 card deck, you've got 17 lands, you're looking for 23 cards. So it's usually going to be probably 2 colours with about 12 cards in each colour. So black, unless we're going more than 2 colours, black might not make it. It just doesn't have the sheer number of cards that we need for a kind of a consistent deck. Even though the cards it does have are pretty cool. And a point about the apparition, of course, to pump this up, you need black mana. So this kind of will get weaker and weaker the more colours we have in the deck as well. I think probably a good thing to point out. And these are kind of playable things, but I'm not too excited about them. Right, we'll go on to red. Flowstone Infusion is good. So if we remember, you know, my sort of requirement for removal, it's got to take out a 2/2 flyer, so that fits the bill. And we've got the Micromancer to find these spells as well, which is quite nice. Branch Rider is kind of just on the bubble of inclusion. It's sort of the argument is haste is kind of a evasion ability. You can attack before your opponent is ready. So could be a 1/1 haste on turn 1, which is not that exciting, or a 3/3 haste on turn 4, which might be significant. I think I include this. Here we go. Electrostatic Infantry. Right. Really fantastic card for the spells deck. You want these. You want at least one of these. And then Ghitu Amplifier as well goes with blue. So this is, I think, the original card which did this effect. It was called Mano War. A creature that comes into play and bounces your opponent's creature. Now, with the kicker, this one's going to cost 5 mana, but also it's got this gets pumped up by instants and sorceries. So potentially another solid 2-drop for the spells deck, and it's late game. It's giving you a bit of tempo. Lightning Strike, just one Lightning Strike, but that's fine. I think my record is I got 3. one of my sealeds I had three Lightning Strikes, so I had to play red. But one's better than nothing. Smash to Dust. So I was just talking about my removal criteria, which is you've got to kill a 2/2 flyer. This only does 1 damage. Sometimes I think I still include this sometimes because there's so many tokens. You can like sweep all of your opponent's tokens. Or you can just do that extra point of damage you need to finish something off. So this is kind of alright, even though it's not quite the level of removal I want, but it's got a couple of other options: destroy an artifact, destroy a creature with defender. So I think this is include this, especially if you're playing spells. Thrill of Possibility, definitely good for a spells deck. Generally good as well to fix your mana a bit early game. The Karvu, yeah, evasion creature. Good card. And Keldon Strike Team has haste and makes creatures, so yeah, that's good. Right, Meria's Outrider, really good. It's got reach, so it stops those flyers. It's it's an answer to that 2/2 flyer, and it does direct damage as well, which is direct damage is basically evasion. So good card. And then of course the Firestorm is great, 5 damage sweeper, and the transformation's very interesting, and it's basically removal. It's 6 mana removal, but it should be. It's definitely interesting. Let's put it like that. Right, on to green. Right, Gaia's Might. It's not a removal spell because it can't kill a 2/2 flyer. So yeah, it's in that combat trick category. Llanowar Stalker. Cheap elf gets boosted when other creatures enter the battlefield. So I call this trade up potential, which is not not insignificant. But notice it's a 1 toughness creature as well, and we have this at common. This red card exists. Other people might be using Smash to Dust, so I think maybe you don't want too many 1 toughness creatures in your deck, and also it's obviously this is best played on turn 1, and we're often playing a tap land on turn 1. We're often playing more than 2 colours. We maybe don't have that many untapped forests in the deck. So it kind of, if you can't play it turn 1, maybe get in for 2 damage the next turn. It's kind of, it's kind of an aggro card and in sealed almost never, 99% of the time, you're not going to get that perfect aggro curve with 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops. So yeah. That's why this probably is not good. Bite down is removal. That's very good. Snare spinner. So this one, good removal. So for that 2/2 flyer, it can block it. The Root Waller. It's quite mana intensive. It's 4 mana, and but it can potentially get +5/+5 if you hit all your domain lands. Get to 7/7, which is quite scary for like a 2 mana creature. It's interesting, but I think we skip this. The Vine Shaper Prodigy, though, is great. I just played 2 of these. I was only splashing blue, so a lot of the time I just had to play this as a Grizzly Bear on turn 2, and it felt terrible. But yeah, if you've got decent access to blue, you can obviously get really good card advantage with this. It's card selection. You're choosing 1 from the top 3, so you're kind of getting exactly what you need, whether it's a land or a creature or something, or removal. So Broken Wings this will kill a 2/2 flyer, funnily enough, but it's too specific, I would say. Sometimes it's a dead card. I'd consider playing this if I had. Tell you what, I do have ways of discarding and drawing cards, because I've got. If we were playing green-red, I'd have Thrill of Possibility. So you could sort of, if this was useless, you could discard it. But I think I leave this out for the moment. So I like Scout the Wilderness, so this is a ramp card, and you can kick it to get 2 1/1 tokens, I think that's pretty cool. I think I skipped the Barkweave Crusher. It's all right. It's a tough creature, but within list. Elfhame Worm, however, is just really good. Vigilance and Trample. World spell. It's late game card advantage, so that's good. Right, I think we've not done multicolored creatures. I will just add all of these lands. I will add the Timeless Lotus as well. Seems quite good. And basically, I think all of these guys are really good. Apart from, well, maybe not Astor, because his special ability isn't relevant, unfortunately. Um, yeah, yeah. Just checking if this guy needs goblins to actually work. No, it just gives you card advantage. So that's just good. This card is just good. Yep, good. And this one, that's right. This one's really good as well. Okay. And this guy's just a 4/4, so it's kind of boring. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll call it end of part 1 there. We'll just have a quick look at the numbers we've got here. Somehow we have 18 red cards, which is insane. So I think actually we'll do we'll cut black, because obviously there's only 7 black cards. It's kind of hard to play it. That's an easy cut to make. And then yeah, blue red looks quite good. White looks quite good as well. But yeah, but you know, green's not that bad. You could go green blue with Tatiova. You've got green red cards here. You've got white red. A lot of options. So yeah, I'll call that end of part 1. Yeah, so thanks for watching so far. And welcome back. And I've gone for the blue-red deck. What excited me the most about this deck is basically having 2 Djinns and the Firestorm, and the idea you can Firestorm and that will trigger the Djinn, so you can exile it. And then you could still you can kick the Firestorm and save 2 other creatures as well, and then potentially having 3 creatures that survive the Firestorm. So that's the really cool combo I want to do, and the deck has got quite a lot of scrying. I'm splashing for Nael, Avizoa, Aeronaut. So if that gets through and does damage, that can scry according to your domain score. I just realised she can actually draw you a card as well if you do have all of the basic land types, and we've got potential for that actually, but it's very unlikely. But Tidepool Turtle is a big mana sink that can scry for you, and I decided to add Timeless Lotus, which adds 5 mana, 1 mana of any colour. I thought this would be fantastic with the Tidepool Turtle. It'll be fantastic with Temporal Firestorm. It gives you 1 of the red you need and the white and the blue for the kickers, so it makes it much easier to do a 9 mana Temporal Firestorm. So I think, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun idea to play this. I don't know if it's the best idea, but it just appeals to me. It's the card I have just added to the deck. So I had to cut a spell. I did cut one of my Thrills of Possibility. So I still got 1 of those in the deck. Yeah, we've got Micromancer with the 3 1-mana spells. We are playing in Timely Interference. Academy Wall's going to be pretty good in this deck. I think we've still got 8 spells in the deck, which it's okay. It's not the best, not the highest number of spells I could possibly have, but I feel like this is a good balance between spells and creatures. Yeah, I've got the 1 Lightning Strike. We've got the 2 early creatures that benefit from spells. We've got 2 early flyers, Battlewing Mystic and Pixie Illusionist, and we are going to use the combat research, which that could be risky because we don't have a way of protecting our creatures. We don't even have a negate or something to counter a removal spell. That might be potentially we cut the combat research and put Thrill of Possibility in, because this is just too risky. But it's got obviously a lot of potential early game if they just don't have an answer to it. And it definitely would be fantastic on the Djinn, who we can protect. Any instant we cast, we can use to exile the Djinn. So That could definitely be cool. We've got, you know, obviously a few flyers in the deck. So I think combat research is worth a shot here. Yeah, we've left out basically some ground creatures, the Branch Rider, Carvu, and Keldon Strike team. So we're going to try and win in the air and just hold off my opponent on the ground. I've left out the Tolarian Terror, which, you know, is a bit counterintuitive, but I think we've got enough late game stuff. We've got the 2 Djinns, I feel, are enough to win the game. The Tolarian Terror would be on the ground. It's kind of a defensive measure, really. I would say. I'm not necessarily going to bust out a lot of spells early and get a really cheap Terror. There's that possibility, but I'm not going to try and do that. I'd rather just have the Djinns, I think. Yeah. We can't play Tatiova because she needs double green. I think that's a step too far. I don't think we gain much from these other multicolored cards. And oh yeah, one decision as well. I had Librarian for a while because Scry 2 seems good when you're trying to like find the right mana. But I thought actually we've got quite a few scrying effects in the deck. Maybe it's enough. Yeah. So yeah, that was the other decision. And we managed to keep it to 40 cards. So I just want to maximize the number of Firestorms and Djinns we can get out, and trying to get the combo as often as possible. But I can't ignore the fact that white is extremely powerful. The advantage of white, so I should mention the blue-red deck, the weakness will be 6 toughness creatures because the Firestorm only does 5 damage. They get up something with 6 toughness or more, we have to double block it, we have to block it and lightning strike it, and it's quite risky if they've got, you know, some combat trick. We've got no counter spells as well, so that is the risky thing about this deck. If we think that's going to be, if that's a big problem, we can switch to the white deck because we've got Prayer of Binding and 2 Citizens Arrests, so really good just removal that takes out anything. I think we could definitely play white-blue flyers and then still play the Djinn, or we could play white-red with more of a ground-based attack, and we could play the Keldon Strike team in that case, and Tori Davenant. We don't have, in fact, I think this is the only thing that makes other creatures, well, apart from Wingmantle Chaplain does make a 1/1 flyer as well. Yeah, so yeah, white does look strong, but I think but I'm more excited to play this deck. What I might do is just see how this deck performs, and after it's had 2 defeats, think about whether I want to switch to maybe a white, some kind of white deck. So, but yeah, this seems all right. It's just I need this deck. It needs to survive the early game because it's in late game. It's going to do a lot of scrying and stuff, and just hopefully be more consistent. I don't know if we want a forest main deck. We don't have a way of digging for, you know, searching the deck for a basic land. I'm a bit dubious on that, the inclusion of that forest. So yeah, these are all good because, you know, that's got blue, that's got blue, that's got blue. I'm just going to look at my lands again. I think there's one tap land we're leaving out, which is the green-black one. So I want to be as consistent as possible. I don't want to have lands that aren't blue or red, or that, you know, don't have that possibility. So this is going to be 8 blue and 7 red, plus a Crystal Grotto. Is that right? yeah, have just dropped a land. Maybe we want to go 8 blue, 8 and 8 red. That might make a lot of sense. There is, yeah, all the two drops are red pretty much, and there's more 1 drops that are blue. So I think, yeah, 8 mountains and 8 blue sources plus a grotto seems good. I think that's, without even looking that up, I think that looks about right for this deck. We do have a double red, and we have these 2 double blues later on. So that should be the right mana. And yeah, I think we'll just add that to the decks and jump in. And just remember, we might just play this until we have 2 defeats with it, and then switch to some kind of white deck. We've got to see how consistent this deck is at dealing with the early game and surviving. Can it get to the late game and get late game sort of value going? Doing a bit of scrying and finding the right answers. And will it struggle with big creatures? Those are kind of the question marks for the deck. With white, the problem will be you won't have as much scrying or card draw. White does have the 2 scrying, cheap scrying creatures, which is quite good. Okay, so good. Blue-red lands. We've got a lightning strike. That helps a lot, and we've got the electrostatic infantry in the opening hand. I think is pretty awesome. So yeah, we'll keep this one. And then we'll need to think about whether we want to risk combat research on the infantry. It helps a lot that we're going first, I've got to say. Always got the possibility of pumping this to 2-3 by doing a lightning strike. Okay, right. Simple plan here. We don't play the tap land because there's a much better play. Lightning strike on this first striker. And then we can at least get a card back with combat research, even if this guy gets blown up now. And he's out of range of Destroy Evil. Oh, he's got a Peacekeeper. Okay, well that's a good blocker for him. And he can stop me casting my Tidepool Turtle until like turn 6, which is pretty brutal. Black mana or white mana. I think there is something I can think of that needs white mana. So play that, and we grind to a halt here. Unfortunately, he's got the right card there. Quite a good rare to have. And we've got a pretty serious land draw here. If we can get the turtle out on turn 6, then, and it doesn't die, we're doing quite well. We'll be able to do a lot of scrying. But we're going to take... This is going to do me quite a lot of damage. He's tapped out. Okay, we have an Outrider. That's pretty good. So I think it's Outrider time now. worth mentioning, playing the swamp first. If we could do that, that would add an extra point of damage. But I think we need a blocker right now. So we'll have to sell for 3 damage. So he's got 4 cards left. I think. Yeah. Okay. Here come the citizens' arrests. It's one of these white-black decks, so I am expecting quite a lot of removal. This is probably not the last removal card he's got. So yeah, that's 5 damage. I'm dead in 3 turns. Crystal Grotto. Okay, it's another land, but at least it is helping me scry. And I can cast my turtle. Timeless Lotus. Okay, that really lets me... can we afford to do that? It's just more mana. I think the trouble is we need an answer. I'd love to use this, but we do not have the time to cast it. And we have a Tidepool Turtle. So now potentially we can double block and kill this guy on the ground, but okay, so he's going for a domain plan here. And he might have... So if he's got the pump spell, what's the worst case scenario here? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. He can make this a 7/7 with the... I'm thinking the green pump spell. He kills the Tidepool Turtle, so I can't do any scrying. Otherwise I'm taking 5 damage. He doesn't have the pump spell, would kill the Peacekeeper, but... I think let's do no blocks here. I don't want to potentially lose the turtle. Okay. How about we discard our hand? It's just a question, do we need the extra swamp for domain? I think on balance, okay, this is 3 mana. This will give us 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. We'll have 4 mana left over, so it kind of maximizes our chances. If I knew what was in my deck as well. Well, I could do a 1 mana spell, and then I could do a scry. So I think it's got to be the mountain, and it's got to be Battlewing Mystic with Kicker. Which is pretty exciting, actually. I've never used this with Kicker before. At the very least, it's a blocker in the air. Ho, okay. Okay. Through the possibility, you have to discard a card. We've hit 6, 7 mana, so I can... So I have drawn an answer, it's fair to say. We'll do no attacks. We've got the 7 mana, so we can phase something out. We don't want to discard the Firestorm, really. We'll only be able to phase out one thing. Right, so I think the idea is I want to double... How about I triple block the Peacekeeper here? Because, yeah, I can't kill the Griffin Protector. This puts 6 damage into the Peacekeeper, and he gets to kill something. And we'll just get to see... He might just unload all of his combat tricks here. If he does have a load, he might put them on the Protector and kill me, now I think of it, if he did have hope, because there is a +4/+4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. If he had 2 Gaia's Might, he just wins, of course. Okay, so that's going to do 5 damage and kill both of those. Okay. That's what he had, okay. I could use through the possibility to keep this guy alive, which is kind of... eh. Okay, over to my turn. So hold the mountain to discard the Temporal Firestorm. Now there's one problem we've got here. He might have a haster, because he does have red in the deck. But I think he's splashing red. I'm just wondering, can I just get away with attacking? That should be... oh, it's gonna probably mess me up if it does that. So I'm going to greedily go in for 2 damage. And then I will Firestorm. Want to tap this for colourless, please, because that's the only way I can mess this up. Yeah, let's kick her with blue. And that's what we're going for. Phase out the turtle, kill the flyer, end the turn. So if we lost, we just lost to a good 3/3 creature. He did have a red creature. Okay. We've got... This costs me 5 mana, doesn't it? We've got a counter mana, 7. I'm going to throw the possibility... Discard a card. Okay, Ghitu Amplifier. That's a card we're quite happy to see. So we could do that, or we could Geyser and gain 3 life. That might be the safest option, so we don't die to something dumb. Oh, for example, yeah, he might have Meria's Outrider. We need to get our life total up, basically. We'll swing for 2. Okay, 4 cards. We know one of them. Warbrood's coming back out. Okay, Amplifier for 5. We've got 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 mana. I kind of want to pump the Illusionist up. Okay, wait, 5 mana and play the island, and then we can Tidepool Turtle. Can scry. That's good. Try and do that so it doesn't mess me up. Bounce that Warbrute. do something with it. Hex, is there a hexproof thingy? He is going to do something. He's going to kill that. Okay. Okay, that's cool. No, that's fine. We'll swing for 2. And turn. Okay, so he did have another removal spell. Oh my god, he did have he did have the 3/3 haster. Oh, thank god we got 3 life points. Well, he might still have the combat trick to finish the game. We'll see what he does. Imagine that. White, black, green. He's got a red tap land, and that's supporting a haster. It's not what I would have expected, right? He could have a lightning strike as well in the deck. Okay, that's past the damage. Didn't pump it up. I'm hoping this means... I'm hoping he doesn't have lightning strike in the deck. Let's do that. A Micromancer. Yes, that's a good card. Done. Nice 3/3 creature who can block on the ground. We won't be able to cast anything else, but we will get a cool spell. And Timely Interference might be the best one here. Because it's actually a cantrip. This is going to cost 5. I think we just chill, no attacks, and end turn. Another tap land. So, Warbrute and 2 other cards he's got here. Balduvian Berserker. Okay. Now the Berserker deals damage to any target. That is a big, big problem for me. Okay, I think... I don't want to risk the turtle. I think Micromancer should be able to trade off here. Like that. You only need to do that version. Direct charge. Okay, nice. He got me there with that. So, kicked. Trample. Should be on 4. Oh, right. Yeah, it kills me because it gets an extra point of toughness. I mean, it doesn't die. It's unfortunate. Okay, so that was his last card in hand. Okay, drop the mountain on the bottom of the deck. Actually, quite happy to see an Academy Wall. So 5, 6. We've got 7 mana here. Problem we have. This costs me 5. Academy Wall, so he can get pumped to 4. He's attacking with 2 things. We'll see if he top decks a creature, but the wall is actually quite useful. We could take a risk, and we could play the Aeronaut and use it as a blocker. It's you know, it's 2/4. I think I want to take a risk and play. Oh wait. I just miscounted my lands. I can play Academy Wall as well, and we'll do no attacks now. War Brute. This is City top deck removal. It's a lot of red cards for like having no mountains and 2 red tap lands, but okay, the 3/3's coming in. We don't know what he drew, but I guess it's something good. We're still going to try and double block like that and kill him. Oh yeah, I completely forgot he's got an ability. Yeah, that wasn't such a smart idea, but there you go. I completely forgot his ability there. But hey, we've traded him off. Yeah, it's one of my good creatures. The Outrider will do a bit of damage. The Illusionist costs me 5. Becomes a 3/3. We could do a surprising amount of damage to him next turn if we hold the Outrider. I think I want to do the kicked fire now and go next. No attacks and end turn. He's got 2 cards in hand. Okay, it's a small creature. That's good news. We're playing on an absolute knife edge here. Top deck some removal. We are probably dead. Oh no! Oh god. Okay, well he's played his Bog Badger this turn. So one of these guys gets through. But he's not attacking. Okay, that's an odd choice. I don't think we get to win because we turtle. We have Djinn of the Fountain. Okay. Still, he's much more likely to win here, but if we've got Djinn of the Fountain out, I think that's better. And then we've got this direct damage sitting in my hand to just get a surprise win out of nowhere. It should do 4 damage, shouldn't it? So at the moment I can only do 7 damage. So Djinn of the Fountain. Can't do anything else. Just have to say no attacks and go try and block everything he's got. Can't risk attacking with the Illusionist really. This can get pumped up to 6, can't it? 6 power. Yeah, that's right. 6 power. I think, on balance, we want to kill this because it's got trample. I can put 13 toughness in front of it as well, which is pretty cool. We're not going to risk the Djinn, but we'll put all of these guys in front. And hopefully take him down. Might not be enough. If he might have the combat trick. Okay, he's going to take out the Pixie. So we don't have lethal next turn. But I think This makes it harder for him to win now. It's one less evasion creature. And we've still got the turtle, which is very important. Mountain to the bottom, please. Right, so he's got a top deck something pretty good here. We will... Are we okay attacking? Yeah, I think so. We can't wait around forever. Means if he top decks removal, then something gets through. We'll play Meria's Outrider as another blocker. Kind of game is up. He knows he's going to die next turn if he can't get something. And if, yeah, he didn't draw it. Because if we hadn't blocked with the Pixie, we could have had lethal that turn. But I really wanted to kill that Minotaur. Okay, that's a good first game. That was challenging. He suddenly, I thought, oh, he must be splashing red. He's got red on a tap land. He won't have any haste creatures. And of course, then the Viashino 3/3 haster comes out. So yeah, definitely, if I took a different line there, I was toast. I really needed that 3 life from the Tolarian Geyser. Right. We saw the worth of the Tidepool Turtle there. Did a good job for me. Solid blocker and just scrying every turn. That was a weird Firestorm. It was just I did a Firestorm to take out his 2/3 flyer, basically. Okay, right. It is a 2 land hand, but at least we've got blue and red. We've got a 2-drop to fit mana fix and a lightning strike. I think it's playable, even with me going first. I mean, you can't. I'd like some card draw or some scrying, but you can't have everything. And that's very cool. Okay, well, let's open with Electrostatic Infantry. Top decking a 2-drop is always very nice. So green red. Are we going to see the domain 3 creature? No. Top decking a land is very good. Right. We'll hold the lightning strike, I think. There is a possibility he could lightning strike me, or no, if he did the -2 toughness thing. Yeah, he got him. I can't save him. I'll play the Manaworker. Yeah, good little goblin with an enter the battlefield effect. I think we'd rather lightning strike this. You can sack lands to draw cards. That'll be relevant later on. Or we could just chill. Really, might be the best policy. Okay, he's got his Molten Tributary. I think it is Flowstone Infusion shaped. So I will feel bad if he plays a 2/2 flyer now. I have to use my lightning strike on it. a Leaf Crowned Visionary. Okay. Costs, yeah, double green to cast this. I mean, I'm just going to do Tolarian Geyser to try and get a land. It's not the most stunning Tolarian Geyser you've ever seen. Ties up 2 of his mana. And then we can Timeless Lotus next turn. That helps. That solves my mana problems. It means we can play a Djinn of the Fountain and have an instant to keep it alive with. Okay. Oh, another Djinn of the Fountain. Oh boy. It's Christmas. Right. We'll go ahead and attack with the Mana Worker. Sure, we'll put its life total under a bit of pressure. So we'll play our sort of this is like a meteorite with A levels. Now he's hit all his land really, 6 land, 5 cards in hand. And, oh, he's got an elf, he can draw a card off. That's a disaster. It's got haste, it's 5/4. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Okay, that's 6 damage. Okie doke, well, we'll play a Djinn of the Fountain. I am gonna keep swinging in with this Mana Worker. I'm not that scared about what he's got. I think I've got definitely a few options here. So I'm gonna end the turn. Very nice to top deck a Flowstone Infusion for his Visionary. He might. Let's see if he has another elf. I'd be so impressed if he's managed to draw 2 elves. Okay, that's kind of a big deal. Right, what we'll do, I think, Flowstone Infusion on the Visionary. And we'll actually scry for 1. Don't need an island. And yeah, we could have used the 2 burn spells to take out the worm. Okay, Gaia's Might on the Visionary. Interesting. Yeah, Gaia's Might definitely on the Visionary. The Lightning Strike the Visionary. And we'll do some more scrying as well. Good. I think that's good. Yeah, that's pretty solid. And we'll block this like that. Solid. Right. How many Djinn of the Fountains do we need? We can use. So I think we'll swing in with this one. Play Djinn of the Fountain. I'll play an Academy Wall, so you know we've got nothing in hand. He can totally destroy me here if he's got you know, removal. If he's got his okay, he's got Mossbeard Ancient. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. So, interesting. Could block this guy. Could block this guy. Or I could swing for 8 in the air next turn. We want to top deck something pretty good here because he's swinging with 12 damage next turn, and he's kind of one life. He's got too many life points now because of the Mossbeard. I'm not killing him in 2 turns here. I think because he's tapped out, it's a good time to trade off. We'll lose a Djinn. I think just have to take that on the Djinn. Take 1 damage. And we're going to top deck land, I can tell, but we're not going to be able to deal with the Ancient. We may as well attack with the Djinn and end the turn. And if he's got more guy as my action, that's just to recap, that's 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's missing white. It's +4/+4. 3 cards left. Oh, he's got a flyer. Okay. We'll do no blocks there. Interesting. Ghitu Amplifier. It's something. Means he can get 5 life back. Means I get another point of power on the battlefield. Doesn't really help me win the race very well. Yeah, I guess we can't afford to attack. He just swings back and he's just winning the race. I guess we'll let him gain 5 more life points. Can't deal with that guy. So this is the big creature problem we've got. We just don't have enough answers for Mossbeard Ancient. But we do have a pretty good card here. Okay, so here's the thing. We can pump him now to 3 power. We can pump the Djinn to 5 power. And we'll draw 2 cards as well. Fingers crossed there's something good. Academy Wall will actually let me draw and discard as well. So it'll be, we've got a very interesting turn lined up next turn. But if he just needs a Gaia's Might, and he just obviously is going to crush me, but oh, for goodness sake. I hate this card so much. So this is the control magic creature. Well, I have to say nice to that, because this is going to just destroy me. Okay, so going to have 6 power then. We will Thrill of Possibility in response. Discard a card. We have to exile the Djinn to protect him. It gets very complicated. There is a chance we can pump him up to 7 power, so can I do the Thrill of Possibility draw? sucks. Okay. that's yeah, I was worried that's what would happen with that, but okay. So yeah, we're taking like 10 damage, which isn't ideal. I think this is where the Academy wall has to take one for the team. Yeah, this is a very tough rare to deal with. He's got Guy's Might. Okay, good game. Yeah, we could have shoved everything in front and lost more. Yeah, I could have noticed. I could have done the that guy because he could only kill one of those creatures. So that's a tiny misplay. I could have had maybe another round there. So that's one defeat. I have said, let's go for let's not switch until we've had 2 defeats. So that is definitely the big creature deck, and we were concerned we'd run into. I'm better. I guess my deck is better against small flyers. I've got like, but I think the big creature deck is a bit more popular. Okay, we've got both Djinns and Firestorm. We've got the combo, and we've got 3 lands, and we've got 1 Lightning Strike to try and keep me alive until then. I guess, yeah, keep 7. That's fingers crossed we can top deck some land, top deck some action. Top deck to land. Good start. Very good start. Just 2 more needed. Okay, Vine Shaper Prodigy. Gonna Lightning Strike it because we've got no defenses. That's just gonna get through, do me lots of damage, and be a pain. I think I will play the Illusionist as a 1/1. Can't wait around. Rager, that's a good card. We've drawn another land, that's very good. Swing in, because we're not going to chump block, obviously. Okie doke, right, Battlewing Mystic is another small flyer. But we're planning a Temporal Firestorm, so... And we're not discarding the hand and drawing 2 cards as well. That would be... that wouldn't be optimal, I think. Battlewing Mystic, here we go. That's brought out a Lightning Strike. That's good. We want to see his removal being used. We need 1 more land. Oh, that's a big one, and that's 3 damage to the dome. That's a reach creature. We can't attack with the Illusionist anymore. Play the Turtle. Okay, nice. Just he's going for the 1 land. The Turtle survives. We might be able to scry with it to get more land. Obviously, we want to hit not just 6. We want to hit 7 land. That would be ideal. He's got, potentially a Lightning Strike, potentially Gaia's Might. he's not attacking. That's very good news. And we have hit a land. Right. I'm going to go with Djinn at the Fountain. Yeah. Because, hey, we've got another one if he does blow it up. Really good removal spell. Gains 4 life, I think, yeah. Okay. So in terms of just reducing the damage coming in, we can block here. See if he's got some kind of pump spell going on. Guy's Might, maybe? Okay, he's actually got a bite down. He's using another removal spell to kill my turtle. Right, turn. Ooh, we do have 7 mana. Do we have... Oh yeah, we do have blue, of course. We have plenty of blue. Right, here's the question. Djinn first, or just Firestorm now? He's got 2 cards left. He has recently used 2 removal spells. He's had 3 in total. I've seen decks get to like 5 removal spells at this stage of the game, which is, you know, pretty brutal. But I think I want to go for the combo. Let's play the Djinn. Do we attack with the Illusionist? I think... I think I'll do... Yeah, I won't attack. I'll use it as a chump blocker, I think, even though I can save it with a Firestorm. Don't know if we can afford to like lose 4 more life, you see. Especially if he's using these Guy's Mights and things. This can also make white mana for me, that's why it's quite useful. How about... Okay, let's... Is it a risk if we don't block this? If he's got like... Yeah, it probably is a risk. It doesn't have trample. I'll use this as a chump blocker because... Except... Of course, now he could then save this creature as well. This is exile. Good news. We. Oh, beautiful. He just played out a bunch of creatures. Beautiful. Right. Interesting point. He doesn't have black mana for Battlefly Swarm to get Death Touch. These 2, between them, block for 3 damage. Do I just swing in with the Djinn before I do the Firestorm? He's got 1 card left. It might be Guy's Might. It might kill the Djinn. Yeah, so I think... it's Firestorm time. Let's not mess about. We won't cast it with Kicker. We should be able to exile the Djinn, right? He didn't have the Geyser Might, that's good. That will play a Mana Worker. Lightning Strike on the Manaworker. Okay. So yeah, if I had attacked, yeah, he had a Lightning Strike to kill it. Okay, he's got some self-mill. He can... so I kill him. It takes me 6 turns to kill him. It only takes here he's Soul Tender 4 turns to kill me. I'm going to play a Timeless Lotus here. Do no attacks. Okay, yeah, so your plan here is to get your best creature back, which is Meria's Outrider, I guess. That's fair enough. I've got to just block, and it's going to do 5 damage. And I can't just let that guy do me 3 damage, so it's going to keep him occupied. Wait, no, he's going to dig for more cards. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'll hold the island and start swinging, I think. Yeah, so he's going to find some action. He's going to dig through the top 3 cards because he knows he's got something even better in his deck, I guess. Maybe a Mossbeard Ancient. That would ruin my day. Vine Wall. Okay, get some more stuff. So I'm winning in 5 turns. Probably, maybe 4 if I can just get a spell. And then he's winning in 6 turns with this, so we're a little bit better off, and we've got the Micromancer. And just to check... I think it's, yeah, Timely Interference, and that's my protection spell for the Djinn, if it comes to it. Okay, Tatty over. That's very strong. Does he have a land as well? Whew. I think the Timely Interference might pay dividends here. So over to my turn. It's pretty exciting. Yeah, the first time I've used this to potentially kill a card. We'll just, yeah, we'll do it and see what happens. Do we want to pump this guy or scry? Yeah, we're kind of lacking action. I think I'll actually scry. Oh, that's good. That's good to know. So next to combat, let's swing. That has to block. Swing like that. I want to take you out, please. Yeah, I can play the Timeless Lotus and do 3 damage like that. And let's hold a couple of lands. Oh, Line Breaker. Okay, that's the threat. We drew a lot of land, but we're just going to win next turn if he can't stop a flyer. He's got to top deck something. And I guess the most he can do is 9 damage with this if he's got another Gaia's Might. Yeah, it's a land. Sorry, buddy. okay. Pretty decent performance so far. Yeah, as I've thought, game 2, we didn't do so well against the big creatures. But that's the best tiny interference I've ever had. taking out a Tatty over, which could like just have a never-ending stream of 3/3 flying lands. Yeah, fantastic result there. Micromancer definitely doing pretty well. I think my previous time I tried it, I only had 2 1-mana spells. The one time I drew Micromancer, I'd already drawn the 2 1-mana spells, so it's a bit disappointing, to say the least. This is a Thrill of Possibility hand, isn't it? We can discard a land, draw 2, and then we've got some late game. We'll actually see if we can survive long enough to do Chaotic Transformation this game. That would be very nice. Okay, tap lands. We'll do this at the end of his turn to keep him guessing. Oh, that is definitely okay. Right, tap land now and a cheap flyer. What we're hoping is he doesn't have Lightning Strike. He's got Fires of Victory. Okay. At least he didn't get to draw a card off this thing. 3/3. It's too big for the Flowstone Infusion. Yeah, I don't. These guys are quite scary. You do see them a lot, though. They are uncommon. Sometimes people have got 2 of these. Right. Yeah, we've got a bit of a problem then. We still want to top deck a land. He's got something even scarier to follow up with. Oh wow, look, we actually got green mana. That is very lucky. So we can play the 2/4. It's going to tap all of my red mana. That's because I don't really want to play combat research on this guy, you understand. It does get +3, +1/+1 and ward 1. So the auto tapper has put me in an awkward situation here. If he's got sorcery speed removal, he just blows this up on his turn, right? Double black's got a lot of removal. He might have. I tell you what. Yeah, I'll take the challenge. I'll put combat research on this guy, and we'll see if he still gets blown up. The auto tap challenge. Maybe the auto tapper knows how to play bad magic better than I do. 6 damage. Yeah, I'll take 6. That's fine. Goblin. Okay. Illusionist is a 3/3. So we're taking 6, 7, 8 damage next turn. We can do some serious scrying with Avizoa and try and get, well, 6th land would be good, at the very least. Oh, we can draw a card as well. We could draw a Lightning Strike, we could play a Timeless Lotus, or there's so many possibilities. Oh, yeah. Lightning Strike on top of the deck. That seems good. And Outrider to block with, does him some direct damage. That seems good. So these have both got trample. Yeah, Hurling Battle him. I was thinking he might have that. Okay. We're down to 3. We can't stop the War Brute unless we double spell him. We want to attack and draw a card though. We could make a 3/3 Pixie and do nothing else. We could Lightning Strike and Flowstone, so we can take out these 2. Okay, I think we could make a 1/1 Pixie, which is maybe of dubious use, but it could just trade with a Splatter Goblin. Yeah, I think that we have to do that. We just have to do that, unfortunately. We can't attack, and no attacks, and end the turn. So yeah, he had a strong start here, a couple of removal spells, and I only had sort of 1 creature. So the Firenado is happening. He's got Ward 1. Okie doke. I think we just lose then. I don't think we have an answer to that. So yeah, removal spell number 3, as often is the case, just is going to win the game for him. Would we have been better off attacking and drawing a card, is the question. It's a shame we never hit 6, we didn't survive to 6 mana. I could have got that extra mountain, but I thought, yeah, Lightning Strike might be necessary here. Pass to attackers. Okay, we can. I think we can survive. I think kill the. No, don't kill the goblin yet. So we can stop 1 damage from the War Brute. Right? If we block the War Brute, it only gets through for 2 damage. We can Lightning Strike the Brawler. Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because this kills my Illusionist and he gets through with 3 damage. That sucks. Okay. Yeah, Splatter Goblin, it's having its revenge on me. It doesn't. Yeah, it obviously doesn't appreciate what I've been saying about it. Okay, that puts us at 2 and 2, but I think I've had a lot of fun playing this version of the, this deck. Do I want to carry on, or do we go for the boring and consistent white deck? Is the question. Because yeah, we can see the kind of the problem there is just, well, maybe we're not mulliganing enough. We actually got one of the games. It was the 2 Djinns and a Firestorm. The previous game we won that one. This game it was Transformation and Djinn. So we're kind of not good to like draw 2 of your top end cards. Yeah, so I don't know if my mulligan decisions maybe were not right there. But yeah, I think I'm satisfied though with this with playing this deck. I think I could play it a bit more, but I fancy trying the white, some kind of white deck here. We just have to decide if it's white red or white blue. Because white blue, of course, you get Djinn of the Fountain. Yeah, you get kind of a flyers deck, and you get Tolarian Geyser as well, which is pretty good, and Tidepool Turtle. You get to do a bit of scrying. You get more flyers if you want them in combat research. So it kind of, if white, the weakness of white is card draw, it kind of solve that weakness. If you go red, you get some early removal. You get Flowstone Infusion, Lightning Strike. We might, yeah, and then play Meria's Outrider. So if white blue are the main colours, I reckon we can still splash Meria's Outrider. If white red are the main colours, splash a bit of blue for the Ghitu Amplifier kicker, maybe. Maybe we play the Micromancer because it could still hit a Flowstone Infusion. But yeah, we can't. I guess we can play Temporal Firestorm, but it doesn't make. If you're not playing Temporal Firestorm and Djinns together, I don't know if it makes as much sense. Chaotic Transformation is splashable as well. But yeah, if you want really solid early game, I think it's white-red. If you want stronger late game, you can go white-blue and get a bit more card draw. Yeah, interesting. Right. But let's cut everything right away. Cut everything. Rebuild the deck. It looks like, yeah, there's a couple of black kickers here. So I guess we'll retool the deck. We are going to be all about answers to big creatures, because that seems pretty popular with Domain, with the Yavimaya Sojourner, so, and things of that nature. The 7/7 trample. Herbalist is good. Night of Dawn's Light is good. I think I'm a little bit dubious on the rest of the cards here. This is like the white core we'll be playing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll need 13 more cards. Don't forget artifacts. I think Librarian is going to be good for this deck. Manaworker as well. I've got to decide what makes more sense, playing red for the Firestorm and Lightning Strike. No, I think it makes more sense to have blue as the main colour. Let's have the 2 Djinns in here. Let's have the Geyser. Tidepool Turtle. Bit of late game scrying. Do we want early flyers and combat research? Is one good question. I think yes. We've got 7 more cards we can add. We're going to splash red though for. I think we definitely want Meria's Outrider and Chaotic Transformation. Oh, Keldon Strike Team. Yeah, we can't really play Tori Davenant. That's another reason so yeah, we can go for the army of soldiers with Keldon strike team. But I think we're a bit more about the flyers here. And I might just take a lightning strike. It seems like a good thing to splash for, even if you're not getting it that consistently. But let's go back to blue. So we were thinking combat research, Pixie Illusionist, Battlewing Mystic. Do the small flyers thing. That leaves one slot in the deck. Let's see how we're doing on instants and sorceries. We have 2 sorceries. We're definitely not a spells deck at this point. Forget all the spells things, I would say. So no Academy Wall. Let's go back to white and just check. So we could have another answer to big creatures. We could have Destroy Evil. That might be better than a lightning strike, I think. In my opinion, I think better than lightning strike. There's also Artillery Blast as another sort of instant speed removal spell. It's going to probably kill smaller creatures usually. We're not super domain with this deck. If we go to lands here, let's suggest lands. Let's see what it does with the lands. We can kind of have these blue tap lands, can't we? Yeah, blue is a main colour for us. We've got some. We do have a black splash of cards. Yeah, suggest lands, so that'll make this a bit less silly. White's going to be our main colour. Red is going to be the splash colour. How low can we go with red? 1, maybe. For 3 spells, it's maybe a bit iffy, but so we do have 6 blue sources, 6 white. So plains, island, that brings us to 7 and 7. In fact, there is another white source there, so we actually had 8 and 7. I'm tempted to go 9 white. That is the sort of the main sort of drive of the deck, is the white part of the deck. We are just playing Djinn of the Fountain pretty much as a 4/4 flyer here, because there's no spells going on really. There's 2 sorceries and 1 instant. Good point is, so we could be playing an Artillery Blast, which is another instant. Maybe we unfortunately have to say goodbye to Chaotic Transformation here. And Meria's Outrider. It's not that easy to splash red, so yeah, let's cut these spells. So we've got 9 white sources, 7 islands. Let's go to 8 islands, and we'll get the Artillery Blast. Timely Interference, maybe. We're not going to use the kicker on that very often. Not a lot of blue cards, is it? Okay, we've got up to 8 cards, so it'd be nice to have another answer to flyers. We could go Wingmantle Chaplain. How are we doing on instants and sorceries? Now have 4 instants and sorceries. It's not a lot, but so there's some big creature options. We only have, yeah, I don't think Micromancer is good here. Is there any other artifact we could play? Walking Bulwark. And the when you do colours, it doesn't show up the that big mana sink item. It shows up in multicoloured. Yeah, we'll look at multicoloured cards and just see if there is something amazing we could be missing out on. We could, yeah, we could. I think Nael is very, very good indeed, and it's another flyer. It's just hard to cast, but maybe we can do it. We don't. The only big mana sink for the Lotus, I mean, it's nice mana fixing in a way, but the only mana sink is the Turtle. And just kind of emptying your hand, if that is necessary, if we can do that. So do we get last card, mana fixing, or another splash card is the question here. And is there anything we want to drop? Like, I don't know about Banalish Sleeper, because it is just kind of a 3/1 creature on the ground most of the time. And we don't have black, so I think that might be less effective. I think I like the idea of Timeless Lotus fixing my mana, and Nael being another flyer. Very important to have as many flyers, reach creatures as you can muster. Yeah, we can't. But I don't think. I don't think we want to put the Meria's Outriders in. It's just too hard to cast them. So consistently. So yeah, have one kind of dodgy splash creature. I think that is okay. Yeah. So we're looking at 8 blue sources there, 8 planes. Sorry, 9 planes, and the grotto as well. So yeah, this is just white-blue flyers pretty much, with some stronger removal for large creatures. I guess it's got less answers for small creatures. We're going to just try and block smaller things. We have to come up with a cool name for it, which is challenging, I would say, but right. Yeah, I'm literally going to have to stop the recording to think of a name. So I'll be back in a few seconds. Alright, so I just came up with something I'm pretty happy with. Now, am I happy with the deck? It's alright, I think. Just remember it is a flying themed deck. Doesn't have a lot of spells stuff, apart from the djinns. So yeah, we've only got 4 spells, but yeah, we can't really play these blue cards effectively. I think Banalish Faith Bond is quite good in a way, but I kind of got the deck in a nice position. I'm always sort of looking out for like more answers to flyers. So, I mean, Wingmantle Chaplain does give you a 1/1 flyer, but I guess it's a little bit underwhelming. If we count our answers to flyers in this deck, should be pretty decent. So, Illusionist is 1, 2. If it's a big flyer, that could be 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 answers to flyers. I think that's pretty healthy. Yeah, we can't fit Meria's Outrider in. Yeah, I think it would be nice, but yeah, we just didn't quite get the right tap lands, I would say, for that option. Yeah, that's quite happy splashing Nael, Avizoa, Aeronaut instead. That seems like a pretty cool card. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Now, I'm sure we'll just face plant and lose the first game, so we'll be knocked out. But yeah, we're gonna try something else. It's gonna bother me if I don't play my really good white cards. Of course, we don't have Firestorm anymore. We don't have that sort of cheesy kind of board wipe that lets us win. We've done that once today. I think I'm satisfied. So I could get kind of run over by lots of creatures is a possibility. Not really have an answer to it. Okay, so I think this looks alright here. 3-drop. We've got a bounce spell. We've got the little cantrip, and we've hit our colours. We've even got double blue, which bodes well for the future. We've actually got 2 cantrips. That's quite handy. That helps us a lot to draw into our lands. So I guess this guy's a defender deck. That's very exciting. So he just pays 2 mana and he can attack with that. 3 damage. That's a pretty good turn too. Yeah, he is going to do that. Smack me. Okie doke. If I play a Plains, I believe I have 3 types of land, and I could play the Knight, but then he does just swing in again. I think it's worth it here. Artillery Blast for 4 damage. Okay, Cavalier. Maybe best answer to this is Knight of Dawn Light, and then I can maybe Timely Interference as well. Okay. Leyline Binding, of all things. Wow, okay. So there goes the Knight. Sure. This doesn't do a lot. But it stops 1 damage. It helps me draw into a land. That's right. He's figuring out how to enlist, I think. Yeah, we're just going to use this cantrip. Save myself a point of damage. Ah, we had a land. That's good. We've got the Missionary. That's quite a good play, just for a 2 mana creature. So we've got the Aeronaut. Do we want to play? I guess, yeah, we'll play this, and we might try and block with it, which might be a terrible idea. But we've always got the missionary if we can find some black mana to bring it back. We kind of want him to play a sizable creature, so we can Geyser it and gain some life and draw another land. What? Like he could have Destroy Evil, couldn't he? Oh, what did I say? Big creature. Even drawn an island. Now. If I attack first, I get to scry. That seems quite powerful. Scry for like 3, I think. As long as none of these have got reach. Do we need another flyer, or do we want to play the next land? And do we want double white? We might need double white, so I think that's more important to get. Put that on top. Let's Geyser and kick it and bounce this guy. And we'll take 3. But we're okay with that. Do we want to just play the missionary? Okay, I guess we've got the Cavalier to gain me back some life. Yeah, we've only got 1 white source, so we can only do 1 of these spells. It looks like he's going to swing in. These are going to get pumped, so that's a bit of a disaster. 5, that's 9 damage he gets. So he's nearly won. The missionary could block that, but then that's getting pumped to 3 toughness. The missionary isn't a good solution here. We're not dead next turn. I think we will swing with the Aeronaut and try and find a solution off the top. I think Citizen's Arrest is not bad, but yeah, we can't do much else if we do cast Citizen's Arrest. The Cavalier gains me 2 life, which is quite good. It could trade off for a 2/2 soldier token. So that probably gets pumped to 5. The Herbalist lets me gain life and scry, so that's also pretty good. Let's just gain some life with the Cavalier. We do have Djinn of the Fountain next turn if we want, but so 7 damage coming through. I think Cavalier just trades for the soldier because we're in, desperate times call for desperate measures here. And is it going to get pumped up? No. Okay. That's not a big creature. That's going to be difficult to kill. So we're taking like 5 damage from his creatures here. That's if we arrest Tsar, which seems like a very, very good idea. Or we can play a 4/4 Djinn. He's got 1, 2, 3. I don't think Tsar is pumping these creatures any higher. That's, I think, yeah, because that's going to get to 7-3. We'd want something to trade off with that if he uses Tsar. Okay, that's just Citizen's Arrest Tsar. That seems like the best plan here. He's got 5 power on board. Oh, is he going to get protected with something? Oh, okay, interesting. He had removed for that guy. Sure. We're taking 5 damage, it looks like. So, he's got a land. What's his last card? What's his last card? Is it going to be... Phew, okay. So he can swing in with a 5/5 Barkweave Crusher, which is challenging for me to deal with. So yeah, Djinn of the Fountain would just... He'd have to block and he'd die. We kind of need a chump blocker here. We've got Samite Herbalist. We've got Phyrexian Missionary. We don't. There's no way we have black mana, so we'll have to play 2/3. We don't know what his last card was. He's got 2 cards now. So yeah. Was it a good idea to use Artillery Blast on the Walking Bulwark? He's ended up with a lot of mana actually. So block and gain 2 life here with the Missionary is a plan. He's got a Dawn's Light. Okay. What's happening to the... He had another creature as well, so he did have 2 creatures. Okay, we didn't quite do it, did we? So I think this gets through for 5. If it's pumped up, and then he's got 5 more. Yeah, he kind of gets through for 7. I'm just thinking about... Okay, that's got first strike. I don't think it's a good idea to attack with a Herbalist. That could trade off with something. We can have a 4/4 Djinn, I guess, but it's not worth a huge amount. So he's managed this. How this guy won? He's managed to get 2 removal cards, but also 5 creatures and get all the right lands. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. And just having more significant creatures, I think. We've had 2 removal cards and a couple of cantrips to try and slow him down. We've definitely been trying to... We've done a bit of scrying as well with Nael to try and find answers. Now, is he scared of a Djinn of the Fountain? So this guy can get pumped to 5/5, right? This guy can get pumped to 5/5. And I can double block and lose both of my guys, which is not great. You can still get through with 5 damage, or I can chump block with a Herbalist and hope to top deck something good next turn. That might be a plan. The Djinn can kind of do some pretty cool stuff if we get an instant. Yes, a Firestorm would be pretty amazing here if I was still playing the blue red deck. Oh, has he got follow-up then? Okay, citizens arrest. What do we arrest? Well, it is difficult for me to deal with a 5 toughness creature that can just swing in as a 5/5. This is 5/5 first strike, but he has to pump mana into it, so arguably that's more awkward for him. It's harder for him to have a big follow-up creature. If we citizens arrest the Crusher, we just simply need a chump blocker for the knight. That can be a 5/5 first strike. We're going to reveal the fact we've got nothing in hand, but we get to 5 life with this guy. So yeah, that was good. Top decking a removal spell. Pretty fantastic. I've drawn quite well. How many creatures have I had? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. But the trouble is, his creatures have been better quality, and I've had to jump block several times. Okay, so yeah, Hydromancer, yeah, of course he can just do that. And I have to trade off with the Djinn. That has to chump block because he can do 5 damage. So, yeah, it's there's probably nothing I can top deck as well. Well, I guess if I could kill the knight. There's a Linebreaker Baloth to follow up. So how many creatures has he had? 5. Yeah, and then how many in the graveyard now? Yeah, he's had 7 creatures as well. So, yeah, the story of this game is just his creature quality was higher. I'm trying to do cheap flyers that just don't have the stats, and when you're under this much pressure, yeah, they're just out racing you, and you can't do very much. Okay, yeah, that's next. I think it's a good game. I'll just let him swing in and kill me. We gave the apparently strong white selection a go, I suppose. We got both citizens arrests out. But yeah, it's just not very beefy. I'll tell you one card I'm missing from this. It's Stall for Time. That's an absolutely fantastic cantrip card. That having a couple of those in the deck makes a huge amount of difference. We'll look at the Dream Police deck. So it's a flyers deck with combat research. So maybe that's the kind of cheesy thing we're trying to go for, is to get an unanswered flyer with combat research and draw lots of cards. It works better if you have protection spells, of course, to protect your investment. Of course, Djinn of the Fountain you can protect just by casting any instant spell, and we have 3 instants, so not that many. And there was just quite a solid amount of removal here, but not quite enough removal. I didn't have the. It's quite a low toughness set of creatures. So 1 toughness there, 1 toughness. That's a 2/3. So he, of course, he removed my Pump Knight with first strike at the first opportunity. We didn't see the Guardian. That's sort of 1 toughness, and it's to get a 3/3. It's 5 mana. 1/3, 2/1, 3/2. Tidepool Turtle 2/5. That's a chunky blocker. Nael's pretty chunky as well. 2/4. So maybe this deck also has problems with big creatures, or medium-sized creatures, but it does have the answers for them. So, but yeah, that game, that was an example of where Firestorm would have been crushing had I been playing the right deck. But yeah, let's look at the blue-red deck. I think this is a bit more interesting. There's some really cool combos going on in this deck. So yeah, it's got the small flyers thing, but it's also got some more spells theme with the Electrostatic Infantry and Ghitu Amplifier. And then we can play the Academy Wall in this deck and the Micromancer, as well as Meria's Outriders. Yeah, we never saw Chaotic Transformation. It's my second deck with that, but yeah, we didn't quite get a chance to cast it. We saw it in the hand, but yeah, couldn't get to 6 mana. I think Timeless Lotus is kind of cool in this deck as well. So yeah, I like this deck better. Arguably the white deck is a bit stronger. This kind of struggles with big creatures. The white deck does have answers to big creatures, but this has got the sweeper, which should win you the game if you get it. So yeah. Anyway, that was yeah, a pretty interesting set of games. I've gone 2-3 again, which is not too bad, I think. And we've still got enough gems for another sealed tomorrow. I'd say I'm thinking about getting the Mastery Pass, which just costs 3,400, but we should be able to play one more sealed and still be able to do that. Anyway, I think that is a video. So thanks for watching.